the things that shatter you, were never solid to begin with. You think it's the world breaking you down, the deadlines, the disappointments, the people who don't understand. But what if I told you that every ounce of suffering you feel right now exists only because of a single story you keep telling yourself? That story is not truth. It's interpretation. And interpretation can be rewritten. You wake up and already you're behind. Not behind schedule. Behind in life. There's this invisible scoreboard in your mind, tallying everyone else's wins against your losses. Your friend just bought a house. Your colleague got promoted. That person from high school is traveling the world while you're here, staring at the same four walls, wondering when it's going to be your turn. And the worst part, you're exhausted from pretending you're fine. You scroll through your phone at night, comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, and you feel it. That hollow ache in your chest, the one that says you're not enough, that you've wasted time, that maybe you took a wrong turn somewhere and now it's too late to course correct. People tell you to stay positive, to manifest abundance, to visualize your best life. But when you close your eyes, all you see is the gap between where you are and where you thought you'd be by now. So you work harder. You say yes to everything. You fill your calendar until there's no space left to breathe. Because if you stop moving, you might have to sit with the truth that you're not in control of anything. Not your career, not your relationships, not even your own thoughts. The thoughts come like waves. Some days you're drowning in them. Other days you're just numb. You've tried everything. Therapy, meditation apps, journaling prompts that ask, "What are you grateful for?" When all you can think is, "I'm grateful this day is almost over." No one tells you it would feel like this. That adulthood would be one long performance of competence, while internally you're improvising every single scene. You're tired of being strong, tired of being resilient, tired of being told that struggle builds character when your character already feels like it's been through enough. And here's what makes it worse. You can't even explain it to people. Because on paper, your life looks fine. You have a job. You have people who care about you. You're not starving. You're not homeless. So why does it feel like you're suffocating under the weight of normalcy? The truth is, you're not drowning in circumstances. You're drowning in meaning. The meaning you've assigned to missed opportunities, to other people's opinions, to the future that hasn't happened yet and the past you can't change. And you're standing at a crossroads right now, not between two paths, but between two understandings of what your life actually is. There was a man who had everything you think would make you happy. Power, wealth, respect, an empire at his command. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and he was miserable. Not because of what he lacked, but because of what he understood. He wrote this: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Pause on that for a moment. Not outside events. He's saying the promotion you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the opportunity that passed you by, these things have no power over you. None. The only power they have is the power you grant them through your interpretation. Marcus knew something we've forgotten, that the battlefield isn't out there, it's between your ears. Listen to this. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Read it again. The obstacle isn't blocking your path. The obstacle is the path. Think about that. Every single thing you're resisting right now. That's not your problem. That's your curriculum. He understood that suffering isn't what happens to you. It's the gap between what happens and what you wish would happen. Here's another one. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. But he wasn't writing this from a beach house. He was writing this in a war tent, surrounded by death, disease, betrayal, the collapse of everything he tried to build, and still, he chose gratitude. not because life was good, but because gratitude was the only rational response to existence itself. One more. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. All within yourself, not in the perfect job, not in the right relationship, not in the bank account or the body or the validation, in your way of thinking. But here's the question Marcus would ask you right now, if he could. What are you thinking about your life that makes it unbearable? Not what's happening in your life. What are you thinking about what's happening? Because that's where your prison is. That's where your freedom is too. Let's slow down here. Because what I'm about to tell you will change everything, but only if you let it settle into your bones instead of just bouncing off your brain. You are not your thoughts. Read that again. Slowly. You're not your thoughts. Right now, your mind is producing thoughts the way your heart produces beats. Automatically. Constantly. Most of them you don't even notice. But the ones you do notice, you mistake them for truth. Someone cuts you off in traffic. The thought appears. People are so disrespectful. This city is full of terrible drivers. My day is ruined. That's not reality. That's narration. Someone doesn't text you back. The thought appears. They don't care about me. I'm always the one who reaches out. I'm not important to anyone. That's not what happened. That's the story you told yourself about what happened. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, put it this way. People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. The view you take, not the thing itself. Your view of it. This is the most liberating and most terrifying realization you'll ever have. Because it means that almost everything you're suffering from is optional. Not pain. Pain is real. If you break your leg, that hurts. If someone you love dies, that's grief. That's human. That's real. But suffering is what happens when you argue with reality. When you insist that things should be different than they are. This shouldn't have happened to me. It's not fair. I deserved better. Every single one of those sentences creates suffering, and every single one of them is pointless. Because things happened exactly as they were always going to happen. The universe doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about your preferences. But here's the beautiful part. Once you stop arguing with reality, you can actually deal with it. Let's sit with an example. You lose your job. That's the event. Factual. Real. Happened. Now watch what your mind does. I'm a failure. I'll never find something this good again. Everyone's going to judge me. My family will be disappointed. I'm too old to start over. None of those things are the event. They're your interpretation of the event, and interpretations can be questioned. Are you actually a failure? Or did a particular employment situation end? Will you never find something good again? Or is that just fear speaking? Will everyone judge you? Or is that your own judgment projected outward? Stoicism doesn't ask you to suppress these thoughts. It asks you to examine them, to hold them up to the light and see them for what they are. Automatic reactions, not truth. Think of your mind like a radio picking up signals from 100 different stations all at once. Anxiety, doubt, regret, comparison, fear, they're all broadcasting. And you've been trained to believe that because you can hear them, you have to obey them. But you don't. You can observe a thought without becoming it. You can notice the voice in your head saying, "You're not good enough," and respond with, "Thanks for sharing, but I'm not taking instructions from you today." This is what the Stoics mean by control. Not controlling events, controlling your relationship to your own mind. Marcus Aurelius, again. If you're distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. At any moment. Right now, this second, you have that power. Not tomorrow when you feel better. Not next year when your circumstances improve. Right now. But it requires something most people aren't willing to give. Honesty. Brutal, uncomfortable, ego-destroying honesty. You have to look at your life and ask, which of these problems are actually problems, and which are just preferences I'm treating like problems? I want more money is a preference. I want to be respected is a preference. I want people to understand me is a preference. None of these are problems. They're desires. And when you confuse desires with needs, you suffer. The Stoics weren't against desire. They just understood that attachment to outcomes creates fragility. The more you need specific things to happen for you to be okay, the less okay you'll be. Because life doesn't arrange itself according to your needs. So what do? You start separating what you can control from what you can't. You can't control whether you get hired, but you can control how much effort you put into the application. You can't control whether someone loves you back, but you can control whether you love yourself enough to walk away from someone who doesn't value you. You can't control how people perceive you, but you can control whether you live according to your values. This is the Stoic dichotomy of control. And it's not some abstract philosophy, it's the most practical tool you'll ever learn. Because once you stop wasting energy on things outside your control, you have so much more energy for the things that are. And that's when life stops feeling like chaos and starts feeling like a practice. But let's go deeper into this practice. Because understanding it intellectually is different from living it. Every morning you wake up, you make a choice. Most people don't realize they're making it. But you are. You choose whether to react to your first thoughts or to question them. Your alarm goes off. The first thought, I'm so tired, I don't want to do this today. That's not a fact. That's a feeling masquerading as truth. The Stoic response isn't to ignore the tiredness, it's to acknowledge it without letting it dictate your actions. Yes, I feel tired. And I'm going to get up anyway because that aligns with who I want to be. See the difference? One response gives your feelings veto power over your life. The other acknowledges them and proceeds according to your values. This is agency. This is freedom, not from feelings, but from being controlled by them. The Stoics practiced something called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It sounds grim, but it's actually incredibly practical. They would spend time imagining worst-case scenarios, not to spiral into anxiety, but to prepare mentally and emotionally for challenges. What if you lost your job? What if your relationship ended? What if you got seriously ill? By contemplating these possibilities calmly, in advance, they removed the shock factor. They trained themselves to respond with clarity instead of panic. Modern psychology calls this stress inoculation. The Stoics were doing it 2,000 years ago. But here's what makes it powerful. When you've mentally rehearsed difficulty, when it actually happens, you don't crumble. You think, yes, I've considered this. I know what to do. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. And preparation is how you transform from someone life happens to into someone who meets life on their feet. Consider how you react to criticism right now. Someone questions your judgment, challenges your work, points out a mistake. What happens inside you? If you're like most people, you feel attacked, defensive, angry, hurt. But what if criticism wasn't an assault on your worth? What if it was just information? Epictetus said, if anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, he was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone. That's not sarcasm, that's humility. He's saying, we all have flaws. Someone pointing one out isn't destroying you. They're just noticing something you probably already know. When you stop defending your ego, criticism becomes useful. You can take what's valid and discard what isn't, without the emotional turmoil. This is mastery, not of others, but of yourself, and it extends to how you handle success too. Because success is just as dangerous as failure if you're not careful. You achieve something, you get recognition, you feel on top of the world, and then what? If you attach your identity to that success, you become fragile. Because success is temporary, achievements fade, recognition moves on to the next person. The Stoics understood this. They practiced something called negative visualization, imagining losing what they had, not to torture themselves, but to appreciate what they currently enjoyed without clinging to it. Marcus would remind himself that his empire could collapse tomorrow, that his health could fail, that everyone he loved would eventually die, including himself. This wasn't depressing, it was clarifying. Because when you remember that everything is borrowed, not owned, you stop taking it for granted. You enjoy it more, and you suffer less when it changes. Think about your relationships right now. Do you appreciate the people in your life? Or have they become furniture? Fixtures you assume will always be there. What if today was the last conversation you had with someone you love? Would you waste it being petty, holding a grudge, scrolling through your phone while they talked? Probably not. So why do you do it on ordinary days? The Stoics would say, there are no ordinary days. Every day is borrowed time. Every conversation could be the last. This isn't morbid. It's motivating, because it forces you to show up fully, to be present, to love without reservation. And when that relationship ends, because all relationships end eventually, through death or distance or change, you won't be left with regret. You'll be left with gratitude because you were actually there while it lasted. This is how the Stoics transformed everything, not by changing their circumstances, but by changing their relationship to their circumstances. They didn't wait for life to get easier. They built the strength to meet it as it was. And you can do the same, not tomorrow, not when you're ready, now. Because now is the only moment that exists. The past is memory. The future is imagination. This breath, this thought, this choice. That's all you have, and it's enough. If you can master this moment, you can master your life. Not by controlling outcomes, but by showing up with intention. By choosing your response. By refusing to give your power away to circumstances that don't care about your story. The world will continue to be chaotic. People will continue to disappoint you. Plans will continue to fall apart. But you can remain unshaken. Not because you're untouched by difficulty, but because you've learned to meet it without resistance. That's the promise of Stoicism. Not that life will get better, but that you will. Better at discerning what matters. Better at letting go of what doesn't. Better at showing up as the person you want to be, regardless of what life throws at you. This is the deep work, the kind that doesn't happen in a weekend workshop or after reading a book. It happens in small moments, in choosing patience when you want to be angry, in choosing honesty when you want to hide, in choosing growth when you want to stay comfortable. Over time, these small moments accumulate, and one day you realize you're different, stronger, calmer, more yourself. Not because life got easier, but because you got better at being human. Now we arrive at the part most people resist, because this is where Stoicism asks you to do something that feels counterintuitive, maybe even impossible. It asks you to accept what you cannot change, not tolerate it, not pretend it's fine. Accept it. Acceptance doesn't mean you like what happened. It means you stop fighting the fact that it happened. You stop replaying conversations in your head trying to figure out how you could have said something different. You stop imagining alternate timelines where you made better choices. You stop asking, why me? As if the universe owes you an explanation, because it doesn't. Things happen. Not because you deserved them or didn't deserve them. Just because. You got sick, your business failed, someone betrayed you. The world is indifferent to your narrative about how things were supposed to go, and that indifference is actually your greatest teacher. Because once you accept that the universe doesn't revolve around your expectations, you can stop being surprised when it doesn't meet them. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Most of your pain isn't happening now. It's happening in your head, in your memories of the past or your projections of the future. Right now, in this exact moment, are you actually okay? Not generally, not existentially. Right now. Are you breathing? Are you safe? Are you physically in danger? If the answer is no, then the suffering you feel isn't about now. It's about your mind's refusal to be here. This is where the Stoic practice of presence becomes essential. Not mindfulness like you've been sold in apps and workshops, but real presence. The kind that forces you to confront the fact that most of what you're afraid of hasn't happened yet, and most of what you regret is over. You can't change the past. You can't control the future. The only thing you have is now, and now is always manageable. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." That's not passivity. That's power. Because when you stop resisting reality, you can finally respond to it. Someone wrongs you. Instead of spiraling into resentment, you accept that this person is who they are, and you decide how you want to proceed based on that truth, not based on who you wish they were. You face a setback. Instead of collapsing into victimhood, you accept that this is what happened, and you ask, what's the next right move? Acceptance is not defeat. It's clarity. And clarity is what allows you to act with intention instead of reaction. Here's the other piece. Mortality. The Stoics were obsessed with death. Not in a morbid way, in a liberating way. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he could die at any moment. Not to scare himself, but to wake himself up. Because when you remember that your time is finite, you stop wasting it on things that don't matter. You stop holding grudges. You stop procrastinating. You stop waiting for permission to live the life you actually want. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. It sounds dark, but it's the most life-affirming practice you can adopt. Because death strips away all the superficial concerns and reveals what's actually important. If you knew you only had a year to live, would you still care about that argument you had? Would you still stress about what strangers think of your Instagram posts? Would you still put off telling people you love them? No, you'd focus on what matters. On connection, on meaning, on being present with the people you care about. Death isn't the enemy. The enemy is living as if you have forever, because that delusion lets you waste your life on trivialities. You're not running out of time because time is scarce. You're running out of time because you're spending it on things that don't align with who you want to be. Scrolling, worrying, resenting, comparing. These aren't neutral activities. They're choices, and every moment you spend in them is a moment you're not spending on something that actually enriches your life. So the question becomes, what do you want your life to be about? Not what do you want to achieve? What do you want your life to be about? Because achievements come and go. Titles change. Money fluctuates. But the person you are, the way you show up in the world, the impact you have on others, that's what stays. Marcus Aurelius didn't write meditations to be published. He wrote it to himself, as reminders, as anchors, so that in the chaos of ruling an empire, he wouldn't lose sight of what mattered. What matters to you, not what society says should matter. Not what your parents expected, not what your peers are chasing. What actually matters to you. Because if you don't answer that question, life will answer it for you. And it will fill your days with distractions until you wake up at 60 realizing you never lived the life you wanted. You lived the life you inherited. You're going to face this moment again. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe in 10 years. The moment where you feel like everything is falling apart. where the weight of existence feels unbearable, where you wonder if you have what it takes to keep going. And when that moment comes, you'll have two choices. You can collapse into the story that life is happening to you, that you're powerless, that nothing you do matters, that you're a victim of circumstance, genetics, bad luck, or a cruel universe. Or you can remember what the Stoics knew, that the obstacle is the way, that suffering is optional, that your mind is the only territory you truly govern, and that no external event can touch the part of you that chooses how to respond. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about accurate thinking. Positive thinking says everything will work out. Stoicism says maybe it will, maybe it won't. Either way, I'll handle it. Positive thinking demands certainty. Stoicism offers something better, resilience, because you can't control whether things work out, but you can control whether you break when they don't. Marcus wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Your life right now is the product of thousands of small choices about where to place your attention, what to value, what to resist, what to accept, and you can change those choices. Starting now. Not by overhauling everything at once, but by questioning one thought at a time, by noticing when you're arguing with reality, by choosing one thing today that's within your control and doing it with intention. That's all this is. Small, unglamorous, moment-by-moment decisions to show up differently, to stop waiting for life to feel easier and to start building the strength to meet it as it is. The Stoics didn't live in a gentler world than you do. They faced war, disease, betrayal, loss. They just refused to let those things define them. And so can you. Not because you're special, but because this capacity exists in every human being who's willing to claim it. The weight you've been carrying. Most of it isn't yours. It's inherited expectations, cultural conditioning, stories you were told about who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to want. Put it down, not because the journey ahead is easy, but because you can't walk forward with your hands full of baggage that was never meant for you. You'll meet this moment again. The question is, what will you bring to it? Resistance or acceptance? Fear or clarity? The illusion of control or the power of response? The Stoics can't make your life easier, but they can teach you how to stop making it harder. And maybe that's enough. Not someday. Not when you've figured it all out. Now. You will meet this moment again. Next time, be ready.